Hi there, my name is Dan Edwards. I'm with Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue, Washington, the epicenter of the COVID-19 crisis. I'm also the owner of the Eastside Real Estate Team, and I run a team. And of course, with the crisis breaking out, Congress has worked to put together probably not the most perfect $2 trillion stimulus package to restart our economy once we get through with this nasty virus, really nasty. And I just pray for people out there that have loved ones that have suffered and maybe that have perished. We just pray for y'all, and my heart goes out to you. What I thought I'd do is this thing just passed. I read over, 800 pages. By read, I mean skimmed over 800 pages. As I came through there, a couple of things were in my mind. One was, are we being responsible with our money? And two, is the need going to who needs it? Now, I'm not going to speak to that. I'm not going to get super political on all that. But what I did come across, I want to explain my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how this is going to affect the housing industry and my industry. So when things started happening, I really kind of switched back to 2007, 2008, and how our nation went through that whole housing bust, and the epicenter of that and the conversations I've had over the years about that time. Once this started happening, immediately fear set in with a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers, and confusion, not knowing what was going to happen again. And I think this bill has made a really good, strong attempt to forestall what was the outcome of that bust. While at the heart of that bust was the financing, the heart of this is not. This is a health issue. So let's kind of jump in. What I did is, like I said, I went through the bill. Jump in and take a look at this. The National Association of Realtors just put out this summary, kind of expanding on just some of the topics that directly affect housing. First, most important thing is unemployment benefits, right? So there are provisions in there that are going to allow folks that are not only W-2 employees, but also 1099 employees to collect some type of unemployment in order to keep the lights on in their home. It looks like credit reporting. So some of the things in the credit reporting is they're going to forestall dinging your credit report in the event that you're unable to make payments. I want to advise you, always reach out, communicate with your creditors, let them know that you're having a hardship. Tell them it's the coronavirus, because I don't think there's anybody in the country that hasn't been affected by it. And make them aware, and then they will give you, it looks to me, somewhere around 120 days from the enactment of this bill to postpone payments and not receive any negative outcomes of that. And I think that's also the student loan part. So, and a lot of students are getting out there, getting after it, but they borrowed money in order to do it. It's one of our nation's biggest issues. So right now there's a suspension of all payments, and there won't be any interest being accrued right now. So that's great. For students that maybe are just getting started on repaying these things, and you're going to have a little bit of a break to kind of stockpile cash. I think that's a great idea. You should stockpile some cash and put yourself in a position so that when this starts up again, you can start making your payments and then still have some reserves. So there's that. Small businesses, there's a lot of great things for small business in addition to some personal guarantee loans or advances. There's some grants. Grants are for stuff like payroll, rents and mortgages, debts and obligations due to loss of revenue. So go to SBA.org or Google the Small Business Administration and get yourself in line. If you're a small business, if you are the heart and soul of this country, and maybe you're like, well, I can get by. It may not be right now that things are tight. It may be 3 months or 4 months from now. So take some time to look into what is available to you. And if you don't need it, don't take it. If your business recovered quickly, God bless you, congratulations. But I would definitely say it's better to be prepared, right? Because if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So just be proactive there. And then finally, the housing. So this is where I can see us having a good, solid, quick recovery, because there are some people out there that have gone paycheck to paycheck. They were just starting to see some good things happen in their lives. Perhaps their payroll was increasing because of the low unemployment that we had. But for no fault of their own, this virus has come by, shut down their livelihood. So mortgage forbearance is out there. And this is for any borrowers that have government-backed mortgages, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, VA, USDA. They're backed by those. They can request up to 360-day payment forbearance. Now, I believe it goes in 180-day cycles, but it's probably going to be different depending on who your mortgage processor is. So whoever you write your check to, you just basically need to reach out to them. And it says it's basically without proof of hardship, because I think we all know around the world we all have had a hardship as a result. So there's no additional fees, no interest, no penalties. It basically just says, boop, we're going to push your payment back. And then you start on day 181, or if you need another extension. So also there's a moratorium on evictions for 120 days. And then some other stuff. It talks about multifamily housing. I won't get into that. But here's what when I see this forbearance, what this does is a total different paradigm shift than what happened in 2008 and 9, where the market started to get flooded with foreclosures and short sales. By having this forbearance provision in here, it actually can help people get back on their feet and get back into a position that once the economy, and God willing, gets back on track, they'll be able to start making those payments in 180 days. And then they won't have to find themselves in a position to sell. Now, that could be good or bad. We certainly have had low inventory. And so even if more inventory were to come on the market, that would just make more balance, and it would make it easier for buyers, and it would actually keep affordability down. We don't see interest rates changing in a high direction anytime soon, but it could bring more properties to the market. But if they didn't offer something like this, it absolutely would bring more properties to the market, and that would create an excess of supply, which then would start to create more problems in the market, because, of course, when you then switch to a buyer's market, well, I guess it wouldn't be much problems, but it certainly could cause some of the situation where we had sellers that couldn't sell that then got foreclosed on. So that's kind of like the extreme. So long story short, if you're a buyer in this scenario, hang out at home, look at properties. We can't show any properties right now because that's against the governor's orders. So hang out, look at properties, and be prepared. Hopefully you're working hard from home and you don't have much else to spend it on. Do some takeout once or twice a week. Take care of our small businesses that are struggling. And then what I would say for sellers is be patient. Understand that market times are going to stretch out no matter what. It's going to take a while for the psyche of the American people to get more excited about making these moves. So it may take a little bit longer. Homes may not sell in 7 days. They're probably going to take 30, 45, 60, maybe 90 days to sell. So that's kind of my interpretation. I hope you found it useful and insightful. I hope you made it to the end because it was pretty long-winded, but thanks for watching.